Hello everyone, what's up? How are you today? Welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name's Elise. If you're not new here, it's great to see you guys again. Today we have a guest. I'm so excited. Actually, if you guys have seen my Christina Lauren vlog, a week of Christina Lauren, you can catch it right here in the description below. Miley made an appearance. This is my friend Miley.
Hello.
But today she's joining me for, I feel like my first kind of like collab. Because Miley does have her channel. She does more like vlogging kind of things, so if you want to check her out, I'll leave that in the description below. But today we are doing Smash or Pass. I'm so excited. So we have a list, a collection of books that we both read, so we are going to kind of tell you guys about them and whether or not we smash them, highly recommend, would read them again one day, or pass them, not necessarily recommend. We read it for you, you don't need to read it kind of thing. Are you ready to get started?
I am.
What
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Let's start with The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. This is a women in STEM kind of contemporary romance where we have Olive, who is a research student in grad school, I believe, and she recently broke up with her boyfriend, but finds out her best friend kind of likes that guy. She's so over him, but her best friend doesn't believe her. So at the first chance that Olive gets, she's like, I'm dating this guy, and then ends up making out with like a random professor.
In the hallway.
In comes Adam. It's literally this scene. I love that so much.
Me too.
And so ensues this like story of fake dating. We get to see kind of behind the scenes of Olive in grad school and some of the difficulties that grad students, especially women in grad school and in STEM, kind of go through. What else?
I think also even on the male side of STEM, what they kind of run into as well. So I'm in STEM, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I really related to this one a lot, but they also have struggles too that we don't even realize, and it kind of touched on it in a good way, but not in a let me just take over the whole book. It's still a really good focus on the women in STEM for sure.
3, 2,
Smash!
We both loved this book so much. Actually, didn't I recommend it to you? And you read it in like...
wow, so my Goodreads challenge, the annual challenge, so I was super behind because I'm in grad school right now. And then the moment I had, after finals, that I was able to read, this is the first one I picked up, and I finished it
in like one night.
In one night.
She texted me like 1 a.m.
I could not put it down. I was like, no, I have to finish. I have to know how it finishes.
We actually had the opportunity to meet Hazelwood recently, and it's so cool to see how much of her personality is in her writing. It really shines through the pages.
Absolutely.
That was really fun for us to experience and to see. So her humor is in here. I thought it was really cute. I know some people kind of love or hate it, but I really loved this book.
I really loved it, and I think my favorite memory about this too, when we went to the book signing, was when there's a bonus chapter.
Yes. From Adam's perspective, from the hotel. If you know, you know. I haven't read it yet. I need to read it.
You haven't read it yet?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Because I first read this on Libby. I borrowed it from Libby when I was still living in South Korea, and then I loved it so much that I needed a copy for myself. I can't wait to read it, reread it, and annotate it.
So when I didn't know about it, and when we were at the book signing, while we were waiting in line, I read the book, or read the chapter.
If I still have the clip, I'll put it right here.
Don't read in public unless you have a poker face.
Next we have Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. This one follows our main female character, Kenna, I believe, and at the very beginning of the story, Kenna is just getting out of 5 years in prison. We don't know why, but we do know that Kenna had a daughter in prison and that she wants to reunite with that daughter and just see that she's okay and that she is living a successful life. But she has a lot of roadblocks in the way, namely the family, her baby daddy's family, who is watching over her daughter, does not want Kenna to be in contact with her at all. So we kind of see the backstory slowly revealed about what happened to Kenna, what caused her to be in prison, and Kenna just like going after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock to get back into her daughter's life. We also have another roadblock for her, and that is Ledger. I don't want to say too much because it'll spoil the like relationship and stuff, but there is kind of a subplot of romance. I do know that this is kind of marketed as a romance. I highly disagree with that. There is romance in it, but I think it is definitely more of a story of self-growth.
Absolutely.
And family with a subplot of romance.
Absolutely. I think also, I love Colleen Hoover's books, but I feel like she uses a lot of letters. This one has a lot of letters.
She uses letters as a literary device in a lot of her stories, including this one.
And it's not a bad way. It's not a bad way of doing it, but it was almost too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
kind of like a crutch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is hard.
2, 1.
Smash.
Smash.
It's a smash.
However, I will add the caveat, there is some trauma-related things, so I would go on the forums and look for trigger warnings for sure. This one broke my heart, but I loved it so much. I will say it's not for everyone, though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, just seeing the character growth in this one, for the mom to keep pursuing.
Kenna.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. It was.
And the relationship between the daughter and some of the people who take care of her.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful, too.
Absolutely. So, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. This is my favorite Colleen Hoover book that I've read so far. The next one is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. Miley literally just finished this. Was it yesterday or the day before? She read it in less than a day.
Yeah, I started it like at dinner at like 5 and I finished it at 1 a.m. I have to know how it ends. I can't put it down. That's my red flag. Is once I start a really good book, like, you won't hear from me. This one's such an innocent book. So this one we have Bree, Camden, and Nathan. So Bree is a dancer. Camden is an NFL football player, and they're 2 best friends
For like
forever, and they both love each other, but they both don't admit it to each other.
Like, we know from very early on their feelings for each other, but they don't know their feelings for each other.
And it's like just the friend zone. It says here, is it ever too late to leave the friend zone?
Mm-hmm. It's very slow burn. One thing Sarah Adams is known for is low stakes, slow burn, and closed door, or like fade to black, intimate scenes.
Yes.
So
I didn't realize how spicy some books can get.
Until you read this one?
No, until I started reading Colleen Hoover.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So pre-Colleen Hoover, this would have been like...
This one would have been a good, like
segue.
Like a gate. Yeah. A good start. A good start. Well, let me put it this way. This is very innocent.
Yeah.
And...
wholesome.
Very wholesome. And what I really like about this book is there's so much intimacy without it going into...
Spice. Smash or pass? 3, 2, 1... Smash. If you prefer spicy books, this one is not for you, but if you want a cozy read, this is so for you.
I think this is also a good one to kind of get you hopeful for love again.
Yeah.
It's very, very wholesome, very innocent, like we mentioned, and it's just, you can find a lot of happiness even without the all spiciness, intimacy, although it is fun to read.
I read this like 3 years ago, and I don't remember all of the details, but I do remember how this book left me feeling, and that was very happy. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I zoomed through it. Smash! Okay, so totally opposite of things. We're going to do Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover next.
Okay.
Totally.
That's not a giveaway.
Totally opposite of the low stakes, slow burn, closed door. Complete 180. We have Tate, who is a college student, and she moves in with her brother, who is a pilot, to kind of like work on schoolwork and live there for a little bit of time. And across the way is his neighbor and kind of pilot friend. Co-pilot.
I
okay.
think so. They went to school together.
Yeah. They work together. They're kind of buds.
Yeah.
As much as Miles will let him be buds. Let's just say the connection between Tate and Miles is instantaneous. Lots of chemistry.
The tension.
Yeah.
You could feel the tension.
You really could.
Immediately.
Miles is not interested in developing a relationship with pretty much anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Any kind.
Oh, yeah.
But Tate is still young and hopeful. So ensues this relationship of friends with benefits. For Tate, it snowballs for her. For Miles, he's very resistant. And so they kind of go back and forth, developing more feelings and then like hurting each other and lots and lots and lots and lots of sex and steamy and spicy scenes, and the back and forth is a lot.
Is it both perspectives? I don't remember.
I think that there are a few of Miles.
It's majority Tate.
Majority Tate, a few Miles.
Yeah, there is a couple Miles.
So what do you think? Are you ready?
I'm so ready for this one.
3, 2, 1.
Smash for me!
Pass. Pass.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Did
my
I
gosh.
do a good job of not giving that away when I was telling about it?
I don't know.
trying so hard.
I think I gave it away from the beginning.
The spicy scenes in this book are...
I can see both sides why it's a smash for some people and a pass for others. I can totally see why, and I can agree with them at the same time. But I related to this book so much because of my upbringing.
I think that's why I hated it, because I've been Tate before in college. Yeah. I have been Tate in college, and it did not go well, and I just, over it.
I haven't had like a relationship like this, but this was my first Colleen Hoover book that I read. This is where it all started. This is where...
That's a big jump in.
Yeah. It was... No, when I say I jump into, like, the freaking deep end, I jump into the freaking ocean.
I will say some things I did like about it. I loved the airline pilot aspect of things. That was really fascinating to me. The intimate scenes were very spicy, and, like, that was really well written, I think. Also, the ending just got me. The ending. It was really well done.
Yeah, I cannot wait to annotate mine. I have reread this book so many times, and I can see like the red flags where it's not loved, but
I just don't want people reading this and thinking like, oh, this kind of relationship is okay
normal.
and healthy.
It's not okay. It is not okay. I don't condone it. I do not condone it. I just relate to it so much.
So Miley and I went through a Colleen Hoover phase last year. We really did.
Yeah.
Next we have Verity by Colleen Hoover. Verity follows our main character, Lowen, who is an author kind of in a valley of her life. Things aren't going quite well, but on the up and up, she gets offered to kind of ghost write for this very famous author named Verity, who writes from the villain's perspective. But Verity is ill, and she cannot finish her contract, so the husband of Verity offers to pay Lowen to finish her novels, to finish her contract. So Lowen moves in to the home of Verity and her husband, and weird shit ensues.
Like haunting. Like
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like I can say anything else without spoiling it. Smash or pass?
Oh man.
3, 2, 1. Caveats.
Wait.
Check the trigger warnings.
Trigger warnings for sure. So,
not for everyone.
Mentioning me diving into the deep end, I had no idea what I was getting into when I started reading this, because I was like reading Colleen Hoover like on and on and on, and I just picked up the next one and just started reading. Mm-hmm. It's very, very dark.
It is.
It's super dark. Not what I was expecting from Colleen Hoover.
Yeah. Very fast paced, keeping you on your toes. You don't know what's going to happen. I remember putting this book down when I went to eat lunch and I said, this story is batshit crazy. And it is. And I enjoyed it.
This one, oh man, there was a time where I had to stop and like take a breather. It's a lot, and I was not sure about how I felt about it.
So for people who maybe should not read it, are mothers or expecting mothers.
Mm-hmm. Definitely if you're very, very easily triggered by trauma, any sorts of trauma, anxiety, definitely depression.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do a little something different. Next we have The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. The Soulmate Equation follows Jess, who is a single mother. She is a freelance esthetician. So her and her best friend, Fizzy, meet in a cafe and work together every morning. Well, Fizzy is like on to Jess about being single. and decides to sign up for a recent dating app where they take your DNA and test the compatibility you have with someone. The lower the percentage, the less compatibility you have with them, all the way up to the highest percentage, which is 99%. Each of these percentage ranges has like a title. It's like gold, and then silver,
diamond, platinum.
Well, Jess just so happens to match with the like legit owner and like creator of the company. They get a platinum match. Like, what is it, like
98?
98 was theirs.
98.
So they get a 98, and they're just like, holy heck. But Jess has her daughter that she wants to kind of protect, but then whenever they offer her some money and she just lost a job, she is like, okay, I have to do this. So they kind of fake date for a little while.
It's a contract relationship, because it's also supposed to help the company, because oh my goodness, the CEO has matched with someone with a 98.
Yeah.
Like, they have to promote it to show that it actually works.
So it's actually very high stakes for the company.
Yes.
And for River, who is the owner and creator of the company, he's very swoony. Yeah. They go and do like interviews and like events for the company and stuff like that. So that's where they end up spending time together.
Yeah, and they get to know one another.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready for this one.
3, 2, 1, smash! 5 stars. For me. If you can't see, I'm not even done finishing annotating, and look at all of my tabs. I adore this book.
So, the love hypothesis and the soulmate equation Elise recommended to me, because I was just like, okay, I'm done with Colleen Hoover. I need something more. Give me something. What do you recommend? And so she's like, oh, these two. And especially because because of the event that we had coming up, and I wanted to go with you. And I was just like, for sure, I'll totally do that. So I finished Love Hypothesis, and I was like, all right, on to the next one, on to Soulmate Equation. I finished this one the next night, and it was just, oh my goodness, I just can't wait to read it again.
It's so good.
I didn't annotate mine the first time, but I cannot wait to read it the second time and just go crazy with it.
I love Jess. I love River. I love the two as a unit.
I adore
Juno! Her daughter is so great. I love Juno. She says such 7-year-old things. And I'm like... Because
kids, we all know, they're always honest. Always. To a fault.
Oh my gosh.
But I love how, like, just says it how it is. And then it's just like, wait, how old are you again?
The banter is cute. Like, the flirting is really cute. I just loved the progression of the relationship. I thought it was really well done for the circumstances that they were in. Very found family. Just so stinking cute. I think my favorite Christina Lauren book that I've read so far.
It's my first one. And I love it. And I can't wait to read their next one. I haven't started yet.
The True Love Experiment, yeah. Maybe we'll do another one for you guys. Another smash or pass.
Yeah, let us know.
Heartbones, I thought this was a YA book, but I think it's more new adult.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so with what happens
some
in
of the
book.
Scenes. Yeah. Next we have Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. Again, we were on a Colleen Hoover kick, and I did do a 24-hour reading vlog of reading only Colleen Hoover books. If you guys want to check it out, it's down below for you. Heartbones follows Bea, who comes from a life of poverty, of neglect, and some instances occur, and she ends up having to move in with her father down in Texas on the coast. She didn't really have a relationship with him before, doesn't really want a relationship with him now. Her neighbor in her new town next to her father is this guy named Samson, and he seems to come from a family of wealth, from riches, and they have like this really strong connection between the two of them.
Immediately. Like, they don't know what it is, but
it's there. It's simmering under the surface.
Yes,
so they kind of decide to get to know each other, to kind of have a bit of a fling, and then here is like the ending tagline. What they don't realize is that a rip current is coming, and it's about to drag both their hearts out to sea. So it's kind of like mystery reveal happens, and just complete 180 for the story.
I was not ready.
I was not expecting it. Okay, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
3, 2, 1. Smash! This book really surprised me.
There was more than just the one big 180. There's been a couple plot twists in this one.
Like, once you reach halfway, it's just like boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And you're just like, whoa, I did not see that coming. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the synopsis is kind of bare bones. Get Heartbones. It is kind of bare bones though, but I was glad that I didn't know as much because it really surprised me and kept me on my toes. I loved the ending. Oh. I really was so satisfied with how this book ended.
This is a really good book to not wait on someone. And that's all I'm going to say.
What I loved most is that she chooses herself.
Yes. And like, don't stop living your life just for, and it's not just the Samson person. It's like the sister, the family members, friends that you meet.
The
it's
dad,
just it's choosing yourself and continuing on what you want to do and what you want to pursue. So that one,
this book showed that is a good choice for you, and it's not selfish. Because I feel like growing up, sometimes it feels like choosing yourself is selfish, and this book was like, no, choosing yourself is great. And I loved that so much.
It actually took me back to one of my senior classes I had in high school. Everyone stood up and like our teacher would ask a question. You would go to one side or the other and then kind of discuss like why you're on that side. And one of the questions was like choosing to not pursue your dreams and staying with like a spouse or your family or whatever. And it just brought me back to saying like if they truly are there for you, they'll support you in the decisions you make for yourself. Yeah. So, that's all I'm going to say.
Smash! We have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. We're almost done with our Colleen Hoover kit, guys, we promise.
Colleen Hoover is great.
Her writing style, I understand why people, like, compare it to crack. It's just, it's addicting.
Addicting. And she does a very good job.
Easy to consume, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It Ends With Us follows Lily and Ryle. Lily is an aspiring flower shop owner, and Ryle is a really well-known surgeon. Brain surgeon?
Yeah, neurosurgeon.
Neurosurgeon. Yeah. Pretty much right off the bat, they meet and have this connection and start this whirlwind romance.
So, her present time, she instantly hits it off with Ryle. But in the description, her first love, Atlas, comes into her life again, and now she's in this like struggle on who does she want to be with,
because she hadn't heard from Atlas in years, and so she kind of got to this point where she let him go, and then she meets Ryle,
but
and
those
then
feelings never go away.
Atlas pops into her life again, just as things are kind of getting in the mood with Ryle.
Her love for Ryle formed very quickly, so I think in the like scale of love, like they're both at the same. However, Atlas is her first love, and you can never forget her first love.
From youth,
So that's where she definitely struggles. But I think that's all we're gonna tell you.
3, 2, 1.
Mine's a smash.
Mine's a pass.
Mine's a smash only because I do like how it goes back and forth on the different love levels that you can get as a young love. And also, the trigger warning that we mentioned, I resonated with this book so badly. Not in a best way, because a lot of my, not even a lot, all of them, all of my past relationships were abusive. So this one mentions how in the back, Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant. However, he's also sensitive and brilliant and has a total soft spot for Lily. And I think what's really amazing, which is why I love this book and give it a smash, is Colleen Hoover wrote this book for her mom.
If you read the author's note, it explains
read the author's note. But definitely a trigger warning. If you have healed, I would say, from your abusive relationships, I would give this one a read because you could definitely relate to it. However,
feel seen.
If you haven't, I would be very, very cautious and maybe not read it.
This is very well written. Again, it is marketed as a romance. And that bothers me. There
Yeah.
is romance, but with what occurs in this book, it should not be marketed as a romance.
I don't agree.
Because that romanticizes the abuse that occurred in this book.
Yeah.
However,
making it like okay, and it's
however, I will say a lot of people are like, oh, why did Lily not do this and that, and why didn't she leave, and all of this stuff, and it's just like, this is what occurs in real life. And so I really appreciated that it was written in a way that probably really occurs. However, I don't want to read stuff like that.
I know, it's really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, as a supporting friend, or just if someone who has never been in an abusive relationship and wants to understand that perspective,
want to be able to empathize or sympathize,
definitely read this book, because just from personal experience, like, of course you should leave. But as you'll read in this book, there are reasons, and it will show, like, how the difficulty on choosing pretty much your safety. So I would read it again, just because Colleen Hoover is shedding light on something that should not be put under the rug.
Absolutely.
So. And
I might read it again. I just don't necessarily recommend it. Yeah.
Definitely,
it's a weird line.
It's a very fine line.
I don't regret reading it at all.
Definitely a fine line.
And that leads us to It Starts With Us, which is actually the sequel to It Ends With Us, but we get a little bit more history. We get a little bit more knowledge about what happened between Atlas and Lily in their youth. And so that's why the title is It Starts With Us. Do not read It Starts With Us first.
Don't do it. It will throw it all whack.
We do get Atlas's perspective, which is nice. We get more of what happened after It Ends With Us.
I know with It Ends With Us, it focuses more on Ryle and Lily. This one's more on Atlas
and Lily.
And I think that's the best way to put it. I do love how there's lilies on this cover.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm so ready for this one.
3, 2, 1. Pass.
It's a pass.
This is fan service.
I was really disappointed in this book.
It was a really easy read. I don't regret reading it after It Ends With Us, but in terms of growth, in terms of plot line, in terms of substance, it was a little lacking.
I think it was such a big push from fans that Colleen Hoover, delivered.
She did. And a lot of people are so satisfied with this book.
They are, and that's great.
I will say, I loved Lily in this book. Yes. She did what she needed to do.
Yes. I definitely related, because where I am now is Lily in this book now. So it is a good read. It's a cute read. It does tie up loose ends.
It does. Was it necessary? No. But again, some people really love this.
I do love how it just comes together, and we can't say more, because
it'll spoil it.
It will not only spoil this, it will spoil that one too.
Yes.
So you just have to read it.
If you liked It Ends With Us, definitely give it a read.
Yes. But we would also love to hear your guys' point of view too, if you've read it, because we don't want to give it away.
Okay, you guys, last but absolutely not least, we have It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This is a contemporary romance set in, is it Washington or Maine? Washington.
Lily's from Maine.
That's right. Okay, so we have Piper, who kind of has not had to want for anything in her life. She gets things when she wants. She is a party queen. She is an influencer. She gets sponsors. So, like, when things go wrong at this wild party she throws, her stepdad cuts her off. And sends her to Washington.
Can you just imagine, like, the fits she probably had?
Well, I mean, just look at the cover. This cover is very telling. I love when covers add little details like that.
It's always the cartoon ones, too.
It is. The artists are great. So anyway, she gets sent to Washington, where she actually gets her inheritance of a pub or a kind of rundown bar that her deceased father owned. She never knew him. He passed away when she was really, really, really little, and then her mom moved away and remarried. So she gets sent to this thing. She's never had to work a day in her life, and her stepfather's like, get the bar up and running and successful, and then
you'll get your full inheritance.
So Piper and her sister Hannah go out there and are trying to clean things up. A lot of misadventures happen.
This was such a good humor.
There's a lot of humor present, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready? Should
we need to get into it.
3, 2, 1, smash! Humorous, the banter, grumpy sunshine galore, and I loved Brendan. I know some people don't love them as a couple, but I just loved them so much.
I couldn't get enough.
I had so much fun.
I could not get enough. There was a couple of times where I just had to reread some sections because it was just so good.
Yeah. I loved Piper. Her character growth was phenomenal, in my opinion. And I'm a sucker for character growth. I really am.
Oh, me too.
I loved the coastal setting, too.
Me too.
I'm a sucker for the ocean.
Me too. I love the complete opposites, how they come together. And they fight it. They fight it
so much.
They fight it. Both of them.
Yeah.
Usually it's like only one of them. Both of them just like, no, I could never.
It's kind of a Pride and Prejudice theme
a little bit
at the beginning too.
A little bit, I would say so. Definitely from Brendan. Oh my gosh, so good. You have to read it.
Fun. I don't want to say too much more because I want them to go into it and just like have as good of a time as I had with it.
This one, I remember reading this book, I was constantly texting you. Like, as I was reading it, I would be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then this and this.
And then I'm trying not to spoil it for her and just be like, just wait, it gets better.
That's what's in my mind.
Oh my god. Alright, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching our first edition of Smash or Pass. We would love to know your thoughts in the comments for all of these, really. If you smashed or passed them, we would love to know your thoughts. This is fun.
This was a lot of fun.
If you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and join the fam. I mean, really, you made it this far, you might as well, right? Be sure to check out Miley's vlogs down below. Hope you're doing well whenever and wherever you're watching this, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, everyone. Miles is not interested in developing a relationship.
Also, he's a pilot.
No.
I have a thing for pilots.
You do, actually.
I do. I do.
The next book we have is the Soulmate Crazy... No, I need to start over. I gotta start over. Okay. Yeah, I'm explaining too much. I should start over.
Okay.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah. It starts with us, follows Lily and Ryle.
It ends with us.
Oh, shit.
This is a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be.
Aw, I'm glad.
Not that I thought it was gonna be too bad.
It's so hot in here because we can't run the AC while we're filming.
Oh
my gosh.
Texas summers.